heading over to Atlanta right now, and I'm on the highway in a major traffic jam. As you can see all the way down here, there's no cars have been moving for the past 20 minutes now. And I've been sitting out here on the highway, just chilling, but no one moving. This is what's crazy, bro. That's what's crazy. And I'm trying to travel at night. It's what, 2 o'clock in the morning? And no cars are moving right now. It's ridiculous. But yo, all y'all truckers on the road, be safe. I'm gonna try to take a video of the accident when I get to it, so you guys can see what's going on. I might take a couple of pictures though. But here we go, my boy right here taking me through. This is my truck. Right here in the middle of the highway. Car's not moving. But I'm gonna take a video when we start moving. I think we're about to, look like we're about to move a little bit. But doesn't look like it. I just saw a tow truck go by, so we'll see what happens when we get up there. Hey, y'all stay tuned. Alright, yo, okay. Oh, look at this lighting. Now, this lighting is good. Yeah, so I'll get back to it. It's kind of noisy out here and windy. It's kind of chilly out here still too. I'm in Virginia right now. So I'll give you an update when we get to the accident. I'm gonna take a video of it, I'll take a picture of it when we get to the accident. Hold on, I'm gonna go right in the middle of the traffic real quick. That's how it look like right now. Traffic all the way down. I'm more picking my nose. Sorry, you didn't see that. That's the traffic all the way down, yo. It's crazy. And if you guys were in this traffic jam with me, anyone who's watching this video that's in this traffic jam with me, comment. I'm about to post it right now. Actually, I'll post it when I see what's going on out there. So I might have turned my truck off because I don't know if we're going to be moving tonight. I don't know if we're going to be moving tonight. Oh, man, yo. That's the worst thing, man. So let me talk to you real quick since I got time. This is what happens. This is what messes up your hours of service on the road as a trucker. So let me explain to you what the hours of service, for those of you guys who don't know what the hours of service is. If you're a brand new trucker, this is the hours of service explained properly, okay? You have 14 hours per day total that you can work. 14 hours that you can work per day total. That's the first number you should know. The second number is you only have 11 hours of driving throughout that day total. So you have 14 hours that you could be on shift, that you could be working without driving. And you have 11 hours that you can drive only, okay? Now within those 11 hours of driving, you have 8 hours of driving that you can do straight without any kind of break, without anything. So you have 8 hours that you could drive straight without any break. Once you hit that 8 hours, you have to take a 30-minute break. You have to take a 30-minute break. Okay? So let me give you a scenario. I'm going from Orlando to Pennsylvania. I drive that route all the time. Orlando to Pennsylvania is, I believe, 16 hours. 16 or 17 hours, depending on where you're going in Pennsylvania. Now, I can drive a total of 11 hours. I have 14 hours in my total day. So, for instance, here we go. I start from Orlando at, let's say, easy numbers. Let's say, what's an easy number? Okay, I start from Orlando at 12 a.m. in the morning. Just getting up 12 a.m. in the morning, just starting off to go to Orlando, to go to Pennsylvania. I can drive all the way to 8 o'clock until I have to take a break. Once I take a break, I have 8.5 hours already in the total bank of hours. Now remember, I only have 11 hours of driving and I have 14 hours on my clock, on my total clock. So if I already took 8 hours of driving, that takes 8 hours out of my total clock. So the 8 hours out of my total clock will leave me with 6 hours, if my math is correct. 6 hours. Now that half an hour break comes out of that 6 hours. So I have a total of 5.5 hours totally left on my shift. 5.5 hours totally left on my shift. Now on driving alone, I only did 8 hours. So remember, I have 11 hours of driving to do total in my shift. So I have 3 more hours that I'm allowed to drive, and I have 5 more hours of total shift time. Okay? So I can drive for those 3 hours regardless. So now I have 3 more hours I'm gonna drive. I took my break. I'm about to drive for 3 more hours. Now something like this happens. I'm on the road driving for possibly 2 hours right now, maybe, and I have 1 more hour left. This is just for a scenario. This is not real life right now. And I have 1 more hour left, but I'm on the road. Now, I've driven already 2 hours. Remember, if I've driven already 2 hours, that takes away 2 hours from the 5.5 hours of total shift time that I had before. So now so for you math whiz, how much more time do I have left? I have 3.5 hours of total shift time, and I have 1 more hour of a total drive time. Now say that I am in this traffic for 2 hours, 2.5 hours. I'm still on duty, even if I'm in this traffic. I can't go off duty right now because I'm driving. I'm on the road. I'm parked. I'm still driving. So I have to make sure I am parked and in a safe place and be able to reset my clock before my time runs out. It's very confusing, but I'm gonna give you another scenario in a little bit later. But I have to be parked within another hour. With this scenario, I have to be parked within another hour because I've been sitting here in this traffic jam. So this is what messes people up, because if you are trying to make a certain destination in a certain amount of time and you get caught up with a traffic jam or a shipper holding you for 3 or 4 hours or whatever when you're dropping it off, this messes up your hours of service, because now you have to make sure you park and reset. So your clock, your 14-hour daily clock won't reset till you take a 10-hour consecutive break. So your break has to be
10 hours straight before your 14-hour clock can reset. If you decide to drive before that 10-hour break is over, then you're a violation of your hours of service, and you can get a big ticket for that. Now, in this case right here, I could be in violation if I ran out of hours of driving. I can't move, I can't do anything, but these are the times when you have to really plan out what you're gonna do next. So what I'm gonna do next is find the nearest travel stop after this and shut it down for the night, because I started my drive at 9 o'clock. 10, 11, 12, 1, 2. I have 5 hours already in for my drive. I've been here sitting at this, well, hold on a second. I've been sitting out here for probably an hour now. And I'm about to turn my truck off because it looks like we're gonna be moving. But it takes forever for my truck to recharge and start to move again, so I don't want to be turning it off. But yeah, this is what we run into. The HOS, hours of service. Another scenario, if you got confused on the first one, like I said before, you have 10 hours. You have 14 hours total clock, and after the 14 hours, you have 10 hours, 11 hours of total driving. You have 8 hours of straight driving before you have to take a half an hour break, and those are the parameters of your hours of service. We can go through one more scenario. I'll tell you one quick scenario. You start driving at 12. Let's say 12 p.m. Okay. If you start driving at 12 p.m., your total, the time that you have to be off the clock if you're gonna push your clock to the limit, which we don't recommend you pushing your clock to the limit. But if you're gonna push your clock to the limit and you start driving at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, the latest you can be on the road is 2 o'clock in the morning. So in your mind, when you set up your, when I set up my day and my shift and the way I'm gonna drive and how I'm gonna navigate through my GPS, I see how much total hours I'm gonna be on the road for that particular shift or that particular trip. If the trip is like 6 hours, or let's say it's a 6-hour trip, or let's say it's another long trip. Okay, let's say it's another long trip. I can't be on the clock past 2 o'clock in the morning. So I will make sure I'll drive from 12 to a reasonable time so I can find parking. So if I start driving at 12 and I don't have to be at the shipper until 2 days from now, because usually when those long drives, like over 16 hours, most of those shippers know that you have hours of service unless you're doing team driving. But most shippers know that you have hours of service, and they don't make you drive a 16-hour shift, a 16-hour trip in one day. So they give you 2 days to split it up. So what I normally would do is, I know that I have 16 hours to get to Pennsylvania. I can split it up in a 2-day shift so I can make it work for my rest time and my reset time. So, for instance, for this scenario, the best bet for me to do is to what I would do is I would leave my house at 12 o'clock, drive as far as I can so I can get a good spot at the travel stops or at the pilots or at the truck stops, because you don't want to end up at the truck stop at 2 o'clock in the morning. You will not find a parking spot at 2 o'clock in the morning. And if you're trying to take a rest in between your driving, you won't be able to. Okay, so sorry, I'm so sorry, confusing you guys for a second, but let me back up a little bit and give you the scenario that I was gonna tell you. So if I leave at 12, I drive for my 8 hours, I take my half an hour break, it's gonna be 8:30. At 8:30, I decide to drive again. I can drive, but suppose I'm a little bit tired. So instead of only taking a half an hour break, I take a 2 hour break. All right, or instead of taking a half an hour break, I take a 2.5 hour break. So that puts me at 3 hours, 3 hours that I didn't drive, but I'm still on the clock if I drove those 8 hours before. Mind you, even if I take a 3 hour break, I can't drive. I only have that's 3 hours, and I've driven 11 hours. So that means I have 11 hours of total time on the clock. So only amount of time I can drive now is a total of 3 more hours totally. You know, so that gives me a total of 3 more hours to drive and a total of 3 more hours to be on shift. So supposedly I started to drive and I need to get gas or something like that. If I have to get gas or whatever, well, I took a 3 hour break. I got gas already, all right? Got gas already. But I have 3 hours left to drive. I can drive all the way up to 2 o'clock because I have 3 hours to drive and 3 hours left on my shift. At 2 o'clock, I can park my truck, and then 10 hours from then, which will be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Wait. Wait. All right. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, I can drive again. I don't know why it took me so hard to do that math, but that's the way the hours of service is. I'm already at my time. You know, we're at 18 minutes, almost 20 minutes, trying to keep it under 20 minutes at all times. But that's the way the hours of service are broken down. 14 hours of work, 11 hours of drive, 11 hours to drive, 10 hours to reset before you can go ahead and do your thing again. Okay? Remember, you can't drive more than 8 hours straight. You can't do 11 hours straight. You have to break it up and do a half an hour break in between those 11 hours. Okay? So it took me 20 minutes and I'm still in this traffic jam. I'll definitely take a picture of the traffic jam, of what made this jam a jam. All right. What else can I do? Nothing else. I've said it all. One of the topics that I wanted to cover, I covered in a traffic jam. So it wasn't a waste. HOS, hours of service, something to really pay attention to, because you don't want to be violated. If you get violated, if you violate your HOS, you can be, you will have to sit, your truck will have to sit for a 24-hour period. So if you get stopped by a DOT and you violate your HOS, they can stop your truck from moving and boot your truck or tell you to stop moving for 24 hours, or you can get fined or a ticket or more violations or whatever. But any comments or questions, any concerns, any pity, any condolences, please leave them in the comment section below. All right, yo, talk to me. Your boy's lonely out here. Talk to me out here. These streets are crazy.